Good morning and welcome to the Kehillat Shari Torah Halacha Review for Thursday, June 4th. We've been speaking this week about the idea of mechitza, the separation between the men's section and the women's section in shuls, the history of that, what it entails, what it should ideally accomplish. The next point is about using a mechitza of glass. So we said it should be a barrier, a partition, so that men and women aren't mingling during davening. So what about using glass? So one view says that you should not use glass as part of the mechitza if it allows women to remain visible to men during davening. Such a mechitza, even if it adheres to the letter of the law of mechitza, it may be skirts around the spirit. However, Rav Moshe Feinstein allowed using glass if women are dressed properly. In other words, women are covering parts of themselves that are normally covered. A mechitza that has a sizable gap towards the top is not proper, but if it has a bunch of little holes like a lattice work, you'll see in some shuls, that is okay. A one-way glass mirror is permitted no matter what. So even if whether or not women are traditionally modestly dressed, a one-way mirror is allowed. I haven't been there a number of years, but once upon a time, the Bostoner Rebbe's Shul in Brookline, Massachusetts, had a number of large panels of one-way glass. There was a building that was built. The Hancock Tower in Boston was built in the 1970s, designed by I.M. Pei, the famous architect who just passed away in the last couple of years. So it was designed to be, and the panels were highly reflective glass inside. So they were installed in such a way that they kept falling out of the building. They put up this, 70, 80-story building, and then the panels kept falling. These huge, 4 by 10-foot panels of one-way glass were falling out of the building. So ultimately they had to close down the building, remove all the panels of glass, and replace them. So the Bostoner Rebbe managed to get a couple of panels of that glass and have them installed in his shul to be the mechitza. I expect it's still there. So if you're ever visiting Brookline, Massachusetts, go in and take a look and check me on that. There was a mention in the Gemara that we said the other day from Sukkah, Gemara Sukkah, about the advisability of having a mechitza present at a funeral. Our funeral is a little bit different nowadays. First of all, a graveside service doesn't apply to this, but talking about something that's held in a funeral home, for example, at Benjamin's or Steele's. So you'll see that they don't have a mechitza, but they do sometimes request separate seating for men and women, men on one side, women on the other side. Obviously, no mechitza is needed when escorting the casket outside. Some poskim say that a mechitza is required while traveling by train or bus. Obviously, this is only possible when the vehicle is owned by a Jewish company. There's a couple of religious bus companies in New York City. Most people are not concerned about this. Az Nidbaru writes about that. And Rav Moshe says that it's permitted to travel on a train even during rush hour, even though if it's a mixed crowd of men and women, as long as you keep your mind focused on holy things and not allow one's thoughts to stray. This is something that's come up a lot controversially in the press, when people don't want to sit next to someone of the opposite gender on a flight to Israel, a long flight to Israel or Europe or something like that, and request moves, and sometimes things turn a little bit ugly. So it's something that we're still grappling with in the public affairs arena, still talking about this issue of even outside the synagogue, where exactly is a mechitza advisable and or required, and so on. So it's something that we continue to try to work out, and obviously different sectors of the Jewish people, different groups have different approaches to this. Just want to remind everybody that tomorrow, Friday, June 5th, is already the 13th of the month of Sivan, and we begin saying Tachanun again. So we haven't been saying it since before Shavuot, since before Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Iyar is the last time we said Tachanun. So we'll resume that only for tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, it being Erev Shabbos, we'll already omit Tachanun and start again on Sunday. Okay, have a good day, and we will see you tomorrow.